For almost all of human history, a tiny, invisible enemy controlled the fate of entire civilizations. A cut on your skin could kill you. A fever could wipe out your family. A cough from a stranger could become a death sentence. There were no antibiotics, no hospitals, no microscopes, no idea that invisible organisms were attacking their bodies. And yet, humans survived thousands of years of diseases that should have destroyed us. So how did a species with almost no medical knowledge survive the deadliest diseases on Earth? The answer is stranger than you think. Because humans didn't survive disease by defeating it. They survived by becoming something disease could not easily destroy. For most of human history, sickness was a mystery. A person could wake up healthy. Then days later, they were burning with fever, unable to eat, unable to move. Ancient humans did not know about bacteria. They did not know about viruses. They did not know that invisible organisms were multiplying inside them. To them, illness often seemed like something supernatural, a curse, a punishment, an attack from unseen forces. But despite misunderstanding the cause, they noticed patterns. They noticed that some plants helped. They noticed that certain foods made people feel better. They noticed that some people survived illnesses while others didn't. And slowly, over thousands of generations, humans became experts at something they didn't fully understand: survival. Because nature does not reward the species that understands the world. It rewards the species that adapts to it. When people think about ancient survival, they usually imagine a lone hunter fighting against nature. But humans survived disease because we were never truly alone. This might be our greatest survival weapon: cooperation. A sick animal in nature often faces a simple choice: keep moving or die. But humans did something unusual. We stopped. We cared for the weak. We protected injured members of the group. We shared food with people who could not hunt. And this changed everything. A broken leg was no longer an automatic death sentence. A dangerous infection was no longer always the end. A sick person had a chance because someone else was willing to help. Scientists studying ancient human remains have found evidence that some individuals survived severe injuries that would have made hunting impossible. A person with a badly damaged leg could only survive if others fed and protected them. Meaning, compassion was not just kindness, it was a survival technology. Before humans invented medicine, humans invented care. Have you ever felt uncomfortable around someone coughing, or avoided touching something that looks dirty? That reaction feels normal, but it might actually be one of humanity's oldest survival systems. Long before humans understood germs, our brains were already trying to avoid them. Scientists call this the behavioral immune system. Your biological immune system fights threats after they enter your body, but your behavioral immune system tries to stop them before they get inside. It creates feelings like disgust, fear of contamination, avoidance. A rotten smell makes you uncomfortable because your brain connects it with danger. Someone covered in signs of illness may trigger an instinct to keep distance. Your brain is basically running ancient survival software, and this software existed thousands of years before humans discovered why it worked. Ancient humans didn't know about bacteria, but their brains knew something was wrong. Today, when a dangerous disease spreads, societies use isolation. But humans may have practiced a primitive version of this for thousands of years. Not because they understood viruses, but because they understood patterns. Someone who became extremely sick was sometimes separated from the group. Certain communities avoided contact with people showing signs of contagious illness. They did not know about transmission. They only knew one thing: when people get close to sickness, more people become sick. This was ancient trial and error. Imagine thousands of generations of humans watching diseases spread. A family notices something. A village remembers something. A community changes a behavior. Knowledge accumulates, not through laboratories, but through survival. Human civilization is basically millions of tiny experiments conducted across thousands of years. But then something changed. Humans stopped moving. They started farming. At first, agriculture looked like the greatest invention in history. More food, permanent homes, larger populations. But there was a hidden cost: disease. Before farming, humans lived in smaller groups. Many pathogens struggled to survive because people moved frequently. But farming created something completely new: crowded human settlements. Thousands of people living close together. waste accumulating nearby, animals living beside humans, a perfect environment for diseases. Some of humanity's deadliest enemies were created by this new lifestyle. Measles, smallpox, influenza. Many of these diseases were linked to the relationship between humans, animals, and dense populations. The same cities that created civilization also created some of civilization's greatest killers. One of the biggest turning points in human disease history happened when humans began living closer to animals. Because animals carry their own diseases, most cannot infect humans, but occasionally, a pathogen makes a jump. A virus that once lived harmlessly in another species discovers a new host, humans. This is called zoonotic spillover. And many famous diseases began this way. The strange thing is, human success created these opportunities. The more humans expanded, the more animals we domesticated, the more environments we changed, the more chances diseases had to evolve with us. Our greatest achievements created our greatest vulnerabilities. When a disease enters a population, it does not affect everyone equally. Some people survive, some do not. Why? Sometimes it is luck, but sometimes genetics plays a role. Over thousands of years, diseases shaped human evolution. People with certain genetic traits had a better chance of surviving specific infections. Those traits became more common. For example, some populations developed genetic changes connected to resistance against particular diseases. Disease became an invisible force shaping human DNA. Every generation carried the memories of previous battles, not written in books, written inside their bodies. It is easy to imagine ancient humans as helpless, people waiting for disease to destroy them. But that picture is wrong. They were not modern humans without technology. They were humans using different technology. Their technology was observation, experience, community, memory. The first doctor may not have worn a white coat. They may have been someone who noticed that a certain plant helped a wound. The first public health worker may not have worked in a hospital. They may have been someone who convinced a village to avoid contaminated water. The first medicine may not have been a pill. It may have been a decision. Today, we live in a world where a disease can be identified in days, a vaccine can be developed in months, a treatment can be created with technology our ancestors could never imagine. But the story of human survival did not begin with laboratories. It began long before that. It began with a group of humans sitting beside someone who was sick, choosing to help instead of leaving them behind. Because the most powerful defense humans ever created was not a weapon. It was not a machine. It was the ability to learn from suffering and pass that knowledge forward. Every medicine, every hospital, every scientific discovery is built on thousands of generations of humans asking one simple question: how do we survive the things trying to kill us? And somehow, against impossible odds, we kept finding answers. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden stories behind human survival, subscribe, because every week we uncover the strange, forgotten moments that shaped who we are today.